and welcome to the Sangamon Experience Community Trailblazers for Black History Month. My name is Ann Mosley. I am the director of the Sangamon Experience as well as the curator, and we have been speaking every week about a community trailblazer within Sangamon County that has made an effect on our communities and the people who live here. And we have highlighted individuals such as Major George Ford, as well as Z.W. Mitchell. And this week we will be discussing Faith Logan. And I have a special treat for you. We have Catherine Harris, former director of the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library. She is now serving on their board. And in addition to that, she also volunteers and plays a crucial role in the African-American History Museum here in Springfield, Illinois. She has been a part of the Rotary Club here in the Sangamon County area, as well as working on the board for the local Lincoln Library. And there are so many things that she has done to help our community that the list would just go on and on. But we are very privileged to have her with us today. So I'll bring her on board. Welcome, Catherine.
Well, hi, Annie.
Welcome to the show. Oh, I'm doing great, trying to stay warm with all the snow out there.
Can you hear me?
Well, I can hear you, yes. So, Catherine, this week we are going to be discussing Faith Logan and her role within the Springfield community here. And she played a crucial role in developing the 13th Street Harriet Tubman-Susan B. Anthony Women's Center. I wanted to make sure I got the title right because it's a very long title. But she has a very rich history, and she originally was from Jamaica and came here to Illinois, and she saw a need on the east side of Springfield. And if you don't mind, I'm going to mention a quote that she has in the oral histories collected at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library that was done with her for the African-American Project. And then we can start the conversation from there. Is that all right with you?
Yes, that's fine.
All right.
I hope my internet connection today.
Well, technology today has been sketchy right and left, and I think right now, I think you're doing quite all right. Thank you. All right, so the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library has a wonderful oral history collection, and I was scouring the internet trying to find information about Faith Logan, and she came up in my search there. And in studying more of her, I was able to learn quite a bit from the oral history that was taken. But I wasn't really able to find a lot of images of her or the center itself, or even finding any resources about the work that she did here in Springfield. But this paragraph that I'm going to read you from the oral history collection really describes her passion for the project and what led her to the great work that she ended up doing here in Springfield. So this comes directly from it. I always loved to be on the 13th Street. I don't know why. Even when I went to Miami, I had lived on 13th Street. And we had the Women's Development Center, which was in Kingston, Jamaica, which was in Trenchtown, an organization. There was so much violence and the shootings and gang violence. So we came together and developed that Peace Development Center, which we did peace initiatives, a lot of prayer and a lot of fasting, and working with the Social Development Commission. So that was the creative thinking that I thought I would bring back to Springfield, 13th Street, East Side, where I then took up residence. And we called it the Harriet Tubman-Susan B. Anthony Women's Center. And it was named after these two women because of the days when slavery was and I just thought that Harriet and Susan B were too wonderful. I could have named it Sojourn, but Sojourn already had been used. But I just thought that Harriet and Susan B had done so many great things towards working against slavery. Because Harriet was with the railroad and Susan B. Anthony being a Quaker, and her parents were religious and they had helped to get rid of slavery too. Well, we started there. We were on 13th Street, there were so many good times and bad times. We won the Governor's Hometown Award first, and we came in second place on several times. And I was trying to keep these things very quiet because I really wasn't. I was just, and people would nominate me. I was doing it very quietly. And then I got into a book called Generation of Pride, recommended to me by Miss Catherine Harris. And the things I was doing, I was trying to do them very quietly. Then they became loud. So I just got loud too. So it kind of, when reading that, when I was going through her oral history, to me, she just sounded like a very interesting person to get to know. So if anyone who is watching this has come in contact with Faith Logan in the past or currently, please mention it in the comments and tell us what your story was with her, because it sounded like her home was kind of like an open door for people who needed it. So Catherine, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Faith Logan?
She was a very interesting woman. She was very passionate. I knew her because, well, I knew Faith Logan. She was as my grandmother would say, she was a pistol. She was very much community minded. She was also very people and improving things. And that's what she did. And you mentioned in your remarks that she was mentioned in Generations of Pride. Well, looky here. This is what she's talking about. This was a booklet that we put together when I worked at the Illinois State Historical Library underneath the old state capitol. And so we wanted to highlight folks that maybe a lot of people didn't know about. And I chose Faith because she was local. She was a wonderful woman. She was very kind-hearted. She was from Jamaica. She liked that reggae music, and she was always a very upbeat person. She opened her doors, and the 13th Street Self-Development Women's Development Center. There were always lots of children there because she was very much interested in helping children and helping to improve their lives and giving them things to do. She became friends with John Crisp, who is a local musician and artist, and together the two of them, they would have activities, especially in the summertime, for the children to do arts and crafts, and always arts and crafts with a heavy dose of African-American history, because both John and Faith thought that we needed to know that the children needed to know their history locally and nationally. And so that was always a part of the activities at the Development Center.
Now, in looking into her life and what she has done and her fascination with 13th Street, I thought that was interesting that she mentioned that. But in reading the oral history, it sounded like she was a strong faith person as well, because one of the first person that she met when she came to Springfield was Reverend Schultz.
Yes, Reverend Rudolph Schultz. He was the pastor at Union Baptist Church.
And she also mentioned the Joneses as well and a few other individuals, but there was one lady in particular that she met. that she was worried that she wouldn't work with her because she was from Jamaica, and that she um, wasn't with her husband anymore because she had kind of a rough life before she came to Springfield.
Yes, she did. Mm-hmm.
And so she
But
was worried that people wouldn't want to be near her because they would be afraid of catching what she had. And that really wasn't true. People were drawn to her because of her passion and personality. And she and this other woman went around and just prayed and cleaned up the streets and spoke to everyone they came in contact with.
I don't think she ever met a stranger.
So one of the big questions that I had in researching her, and I'm hoping that if anyone is tuning in and do know, in looking at her oral history, it makes you wonder, well, what happened to the center itself? How did it move on? Did it merge into something else? Did someone pick up the ball and go with it? Or how did it?
Sadly, no one picked up the ball for the center. So it just kind of faded away. But her memory lives on because of what she did. And I think she had a positive influence at the time that she was here in Springfield, and she remained she was very active in the community, and always trying to do good, reach out to people and be helpful, because that's the way she was.
Well, I think that's something we can definitely learn from her, is the fact that she saw a need and she filled it. Sorry for the cat in the picture. So in studying her life and how open she was, do you think that that's something we could really learn going in the future and making our communities better?
Absolutely. If you can commit to if you have something that's important to you, if it's like improving your community, reaching out and helping others, then just go do it. You don't have to have a big organization behind you. You can do it one person and one step at a time. And I think that's what Faith did. She just reached out and did what she felt needed to be done. She was a gentle spirit. I think that's how I'd like to categorize her. She was a gentle, kind, and caring spirit. So,
can you tell us? Well, I'm glad that we were able to, and that I'm really using this as a learning opportunity as well, because I never heard of her until I started reading on Sangamon Link, some of the amazing individuals within our communities. And when I saw her name and her background, she just sounded very fascinating. And I didn't even know that you came in contact with her, and I've been speaking with you for years. So can you tell me of an experience that you had with her, like an event or a project you worked on together, or just like a social outing that you went on with her? Are there any stories you can recollect?
One of the things that I'll always remember about Faith, she's from Jamaica. She liked reggae music, and she liked Jamaican food. And so do I, thanks to her. So, one of the best ways to connect with people is through food. And oftentimes she would stop by my house when she was just out and about in the community and bring me some jerk something or other. I think she might have been one of the first persons with whom I shared jerk goat. Have you ever had jerk goat? And curry goat?
No.
Jerk chicken? Pigeon peas and rice. I mean, it was just all wonderful. And then I also met her daughter, Mary Jane. And I know Mary Jane was in school here. I haven't heard or seen Mary Jane in a while, but Mary Jane is very much like her mother, sweet, kind, and gentle. And Faith was a personification of her name. She had a great deal of faith. And so her mom named her very aptly. She grew into her name because she was indeed a woman of faith. So
well, that is wonderful. Well, it's a great honor to have her, and I'm hoping to learn more about her in the future. And one of the calls that I have for this Community Trailblazers series is that if anyone knew Faith and had a experience with her, I would like to hear more about it because, as you know, Catherine, we have our hometown exhibit coming up in March. Where we're highlighting the hometown pride that we have. And I think she would definitely fit into that. A pride within community and pride in helping out others. I think that's something that I would like to see more of. So if anyone has any questions about that exhibit or need to know more, just let us know. But we would really love to see any stories that you have on Faith. And specifically, if anyone's had some experience with the center that she put together at her house, just to have the doors open. I mean, that's something you don't hear about anymore.
Right, not in this day and time.
But hopefully that's something we can learn to go back to, is making sure that we are open to others. So Catherine, thank you so much for joining me this week on Trailblazers within our community. And I know you being a Trailblazer yourself here in the Sangamon County area, we will eventually have to have you back on.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you.
All right. Well, it was a great honor, Catherine, and you're welcome anytime.
Okay. And be sure to bring your cat back, too.
Oh, will do. I believe that one was Ruby.
Okay.
So you see Ruby or Tad hop back on.
Okay.
So,
thanks, Annie.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming, Catherine. Folks, that concludes our Trailblazer episode for today. These short videos are meant to showcase and highlight individuals within our community that have made a difference. And we are highlighting African-American individuals this month for Black History Month who showcased a pride in their community and wanting to step up and help in ways that they can to help unite and provide comfort and care for others who need it. And that's what we're hoping to accomplish within this series, is to get people thinking about those who have been with us in the past, who need to be highlighted, who need to be remembered, because they have left a mark on our hearts and have left a mark on our community stories. So tune in next week when we bring up another Trailblazer within our community. And I encourage you, if you are connected in some way with the individuals we've spoken about, or if you have a community Trailblazer that you would like to highlight on the series, feel free to submit that to Sangamon Experience at uis.edu. Also, keep a lookout. We will be releasing our digital exhibit, Hometown Pride, at the Sangamon Experience's website when we open it back up in March. If you have a showcase of hometown pride that you would like to share with us and have a part of the exhibit, feel free to email that to us as well. This exhibit is not made by just a curator, but it's made by a community. And we want to make sure that your story is told. So feel free to send that to us as well. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next Wednesday at noon to talk about more community trailblazers here within the Sangamon County area. Have a great day and stay warm out there.